Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. Today we're going to be taking a look at a game here on Neo-Dark Origin between one of my favorite Terran players, Mind, and one of the world's favorite Protoss players in Stork. So should be a fun one. Neo-Dark Origin, of course, you know, a two-player map, generally a little bit hard for Terran, just as Protoss gets to dictate the flow of that very cleanly because of the possibility of offensive gas and kind of the weird shape of the main base, the kind of weird position it's in. But we'll get more into that based on whatever Stork is going to end up opening with. You know, when I see a Mind game against a top player, I love to check it out. I think he's just such a fun Terran, so I hope you guys agree with that. Stork here, throwing down a pylon and going to go across for that gas steal. And it should be a forward gateway from him as well. So while we wait for that, I want to thank you guys for checking out ArtosisCasts. I hope that you've been enjoying everything going on the channel. You know, I've been doing some various matches and CNSL, of course, as CNSL is picking up a little bit quicker now. I am adding in, you know, in between those days, a few ladder games as well. I don't want to start like another match as we get deep into that tournament like we had with the China-Korea Invitational. So anyways, Stork up here and going to harass a little bit. Snags that gas real quick. You know, not any real prevention there from Mind. No one really tries to prevent that anymore. Even Sharp, who I've talked about a lot in the past, is someone who sometimes like to grab his gas. Even he seems to be pretty done with that. I think he probably picked up some losses against really stupid stuff like proxy gates when he's grabbing his own gas. So anyways, some good probe harassment from Stork so far here. Definitely putting some damage on that SCV. And you can see, look at this. Like, you have to pull two SCVs, repair, attack the probe. Good micro from Stork overall. But he will be forced back. The gateway is out in the front, making a Zealot right now. And we'll see if he goes into that Nexus. I would imagine that's what you want to do, but sometimes you see this SCV come down specifically to try to stop that. And in fact, yeah, the SCV going to pop down. Now, the Zealot does not turn around, okay? So this completely changes the way that you're going to play this position. And in fact, the probe coming out probably to, I was going to say to attack that SCV, but it doesn't seem to be the case. Okay, so what just happened there was Mind tried to target this probe that was targeting his SCV that was down here, and he accidentally targeted his own SCV. So that's why the probe has 0 kills here. Oh my gosh. In the meantime, Stork is making this Nexus, so I think a little bit of a mistake here from Mind to not go ahead and throw down an offensive engineering bay. I think that's a really good play. We see a lot of pros do that right now. But Mind decided not to do that. So, yeah, I feel like he should have, because now he's playing here and it's like, okay, you have to get like a bunker up and your command center up. But every second it takes, okay, so he starts it, right? So this is about a third, like 30% more. It's not a huge deal that it's that much faster. That's fine. Where is the additional Zealot? Did he just not make it? Like, he was making it. Did he cancel? Yeah, I guess he did. That's interesting. That's interesting. That's not something... Because I was going to say, like, you can't normally start this at this time because normally there is a secondary Zealot that comes out and you just have to get the bunker up and Protoss pressures really heavily. But that didn't occur here. There was no second Zealot. It was just Stork, like, really optimizing towards his tech and his Nexus. So Mind somehow read that perfectly and has his command center going up. And yeah, everything looks... actually pretty darn even here. Really kind of shocking to see two probes going after this SCV, but he really wants to stop that scout. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. He needs to put... okay, there you go. Finally gets it, finally gets it. Two Zealots walking up. They are not going to be able to get anything done against the 5 Marines if the bunker finishes. And it will, of course. So he kind of starts blocking this and loads right up. Look at that, the SCV helping to block as well. So yeah, not a great engage there from Stork. Normally you have those much, much earlier. But he did skimp a little bit. Now, actually kind of throws away that other Zealot as well. Maybe just a little bit slow on that reaction. Dragoon coming up, and that'll keep those Marines out. Taking a look in the main base here of Mind. He throws down 2 factories pretty quickly. We'll see if he goes into that 3 factory play we've been seeing a fair amount of lately. A lot of people have been going 3 factory after the offensive gas as a way to apply some pressure across the map. Now, looking into Stork's base, right? Like, he doesn't have very much. He's going like the fastest third Nexus you could even imagine, right? Like, he threw away 2 Zealots. He only has 1 Gateway. Dude, he's not even getting range. 3 fact would be excellent here, I think. Okay, Academy coming up from mine. So he's preferring the Academy to that 3rd factory, which I think is fine. But I'm really excited to see what he'll do with this because, like I mentioned, right, most pros right now, after offensive gas on a map like this, they'll throw down the 3 factory and just kind of play it out and figure out what they can do. Sometimes you can do an attack, sometimes you cannot. Here, with the Academy, like, he's going to have a ton of information. The Academy doesn't really add much other than better decision-making, okay? So think of it this way, right? The Academy is like a little bit of greed that Terran can do. It gives way better decision-making and some safety, of course, but it makes you stop SCV production for 4 SCVs, 2 per comsat, and it costs, like, you know, when you add comstats plus the Academy, that's like the same price basically as a factory, right? So it's like this is the thing he did instead, and we'll see if that actually pays off because it doesn't help with the attack. It lets you know if you can attack, but generally since you bought it, you can't really, if that makes sense. It's more of a longer game structure, more of a defensive structure in a lot of ways, but sometimes it does reveal a situation where you can attack, and maybe that will come up here. Now, an engineering bay coming up. He has the 2 scanners. We haven't heard a scan as of yet. 3 tanks come out. Mines on the way. Speed is already done. Siege on the way, and he's going to do this push. And this is a very common push that we see, right? The 3 tank. You have your Marines and SCV, and then you have speed vultures coming out. So let's see if he's able to do something because Stork has no vision on the map. He doesn't know what's going on. He makes a little wall so you can't harass his probes too easily. I think we're going to see just a few mines laid here and him come into position over here, but Stork is literally playing completely blind. Dude, this might be deadly. Okay, he sees this push coming. Now, if siege mode finishes, how do you ever break this? If he just sits on the high ground, I don't think you can. Whoa, he should really pull back to high ground and get the missed shots. Kind of surprised with siege almost done that he's engaging at all here. I think if he had just stood up here and forced, like, only missed shots to occur, he would still have a lot of his Marines. Like, he's putting damage onto the goons, so that's good. But now he's lost all of his buffering. So I feel like that might have been just a slight mistake. If you get all the way up here and you have 5 Marines and SCV, 3 tanks, and, like, 3 vultures, and you have mines that you can lay, like, I think he could have stalled out for siege and had a position where he could have traded really favorably. I'm pretty sure. But now I look at this, and it's like, ooh, Stork has to be feeling good. He has 4 gate observer going. He's 61 workers to 45. That's kind of crazy. +1 on the way as Mind adds that 5th factory, added a couple during that attack. And he did get away with the tanks, right? So that's like an important thing. If you save the tanks, there's definitely still follow-up pushes that can occur, that can work. If you lose those tanks, there's really not. You have to go into a very defensive game. So Mind has decided to wait and see if he can line up another attack here. Stork, though, is making like an absurd amount of goons. Starting to get into his zealots as well. 4 more gates getting added, so going up to 8 gates at the moment with that, robo-producing obs. Oh, even more gates. Look at that. So what is this? This is like 7, 10. Dude, he's going like pure gateway, man. Okay, so this is kind of crazy. As Mind, you have to turtle. And in fact, look at that. Throws his command center down. So I think that Mind, utilizing those scans, you can see that type of decision making I was talking about that the scans can give you. While he didn't have the 3rd factory, and I think he could have gotten more damage here, not like a kill, but more damage up there. But he's been able to gain a lot of information. And with really accurate information comes really accurate decision making. So this is like a very fast additional base. He has 5 factory macro going. What he's going to want to do is choke up these areas a little bit, right? Some mines, spread the tanks, some turrets in various locations, maybe throw a depot down, float the eBay over here, and you just want to turtle this area up really, really heavily. Because when you look at what Protoss is doing, look at this. 5, 10, 11 gateways, right? And it's like, yeah, okay, he has +1 going. He has legs going. Yeah, he's getting shuttle speed probably. Yeah, he is. And he has the Templar Archive. So he has some other things going on. It's like a gateway man into speed shuttle stuff. Stork throws down his 4th Nexus. Oh, this is like perfect, man, from Stork. Look, his observer sees that the 3rd base is being taken. So, like, either you kill him or you expand, right? Those are going to be the 2 big choices. And he can't really kill him. He definitely doesn't have the army to kill him right now. So he throws down the Nexus. He's clearing a bunch of mines in the center. Look at this. Observer here. So the 2 points where you can leave your base as Terran are covered, and he's watching that. Plenty of observers around. Wouldn't mind him actually clearing everything. But does come back to a more central position. Shuttle's starting to pop out a little bit. We do have Psystorm on the way, and I don't believe we've seen any Reavers. I think that he got that Reaver tech. Well, not Reaver tech, but, you know, that support bay tech just for that shuttle speed. So probably we'll see Zealots and High Templars in those shuttles only. No Reavers, and I think that's totally fine. You know, some players can utilize Reavers really good at this point in the game, but I think it's a waste of time for most players. They're just not going to be as strong as the other units that you're putting that much money into. Observer speed coming up as well. Love to see that. So Stork has that 4th Nexus up. He's still got that really healthy worker count. You can hear the amount of scans going down, right? Like, it's just this constant scanning by Mind to figure out what's going on. This is why I love Mind so much. When you look at the way that he plays, and look, he's picking off observers as well. He's had these comm sats for a long time. He's utilizing the energy really efficiently. He's got a great turtle position. Look at the depots. Dude, he's in such good shape. Look at that. You're not going to break this, even though Stork has a ton of units. Now, he's going to try to break it, but I think that this is pretty foolish. There's no way, man. Coming over these bridges, everything's kind of getting stuck. He is starting to get some of the speed lots up here, but you can see Mine's position is, like, perfectly defended. And the barracks is sucking up, like, literally over 1,000 damage. The Dragoons continue to try to come over, and the Zealots actually, like... Dude, for how poor that engagement was, he's actually doing much better than I thought. Oh, my God. Is he actually going to break it? Are the Zealots actually going to break all the siege tanks? They are? I'm in shock that Stork was able to force that through. That's crazy. Oh, my God. Is Stork just going to pick it up here? It does look that way right now. Mind in a little bit of trouble. Now, looking at the supplies, the way the game was played, this definitely didn't feel like a situation where Mind should have been broken. Okay, High Templars coming in now as well. Oh, my God. Ah! Oh, insane storms right there. Kills 10-ish SCVs. You know, the command center's still alive. His upgrades are still coming. I'm trying to figure out if Mind has a chance here to come back. I don't think he does. His siege tank count too low. Okay, he's going to GG. I actually want to just really quickly jump back to that engage because I really, just looking at the numbers, it looked good for Mind, right? And it has a lot to do with what your spread actually looks like. So we're going to go right up to the attack. Sorry, we're going to... You can turn the VOD off if you don't want to re-see this. Okay, here we go. Okay, so supplies, workers are the same. So it's a 40 supply advantage. Now, here's some stats for you, right? Like, we're at about 12 minutes. It's 140 Terran, 183 Protoss. That's all, like, not far out there stuff, right? Like, this is pretty normal stuff. You actually can max as Protoss at this time. He didn't because you can see he's taking additional Nexuses, right? Like, he's not going completely on. He's getting Psystorm. He's getting speed on his shuttles and all that. Now, the army here is really good for Mind. Let's take a look, right? So he actually only has 5 factories, but I think that still is something that's holdable. He's got a really well-placed, you know, barracks that sucks up a ton of damage. There are a lot of speed lots in here. It's about making sure that you're getting as much damage output a lot of the time with the vultures. Let's see if he just loses these vultures quickly. And by the way, this is only 13 vultures. So that is a little bit low for 12 minutes into the game. I'm going to just watch this real quick and look. Okay, so mine's hit. He loses a few vultures. All right. We've dropped. Let's take a look. So we've dropped from 13 to 8. He has 2 more that came down. The zealots. So you can see Stork is kind of forcing a lot of units up this side and then getting in. We see the siege tanks being drawn to fire on these zealots. If you can, like one of the big things that you can do in these situations is grab your siege tanks and focus fire on things that are not next to your zealots. A lot of the times in these fights, most of the damage to the Terran army is dealt by siege tanks themselves. So let's take a look, right? So see, no, that wasn't a huge volley on there. These zealots not being cleaned overly well. And he's basically at this point out of vultures, right? He's got 1 vulture left. Wow. It's an impressive break by Stork. Honestly, like I did not think he was going to break that. I generally get what's going to happen at the beginning of a battle correctly. So, well done. That was some pretty fearsome macro from Stork. I love to see when he's actually playing like really high level games. And I didn't think that was a great move, but taking a page out of Best's book and takes mine down with a very sharp display of macro. I hope that you guys enjoyed the game. I'm going to be scratching my head on how he was able to quite break that. I guess, you know, basically for Mind, I want to add one more thing, okay? So if Mind maybe holds that just slightly better, and sometimes it's as small as if you have 5, 6 more vultures, right? Instead of like vultures being around the map, right? See, 1, 2, 3, and he lost a few running around as well, whatever. But if you have like even 5 or 6 more vultures, sometimes this goes way in the other direction, right? So like every unit can be valuable. And if he holds this, he's in good shape because everything he was doing was very smart, very good. Got those additional upgrades going. Anyways, a cool game, an interesting game. Didn't go how I thought it would, which is refreshing. Guys, I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you enjoyed this kind of investigatory work at the end. Is that a word? I don't know. Okay, I'm going to shut up and turn this off. Bye.